Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Alex Halkin on the line, and he is founder and CEO over at Competera. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam, having me here. Thank you.
All right, Alex, we got a lot to talk about today. So we're going to get into Competera, and we're going to talk about AI-driven pricing and the platform and really how it's helping retailers. But before we get into all of that, I'd like to start this episode the way that we start them all, with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So Alex, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's what we do. Alex, what mission matters to you?
Yeah, it's a great question. That is so fun that I was always passionate about machine learning. That this algorithms will takes all the challenging decisions for humans. And we put this on top of our website saying that building the Competera really helps people to focus on something what really matters. I don't know. Take your kids from the kindergarten earlier today, but because you delegate most of the complicated calculation to machines. This will drive us and just to free up more and more free time for our busy universe.
Yeah, I love it because one thing that's true is that we're not getting any more time and life is getting more complicated. So if we can use AI or we can use other things to help us along the way and become more efficient, hey, I'm all for it. Alex, I want to kind of go back and we're going to get into Competera, of course, but I see, the term founder by your name. So you're obviously an entrepreneur. Were you always an entrepreneur? Like when did that start for you?
Yeah, cool. It's like really when you're looking back, that is honestly that my first business was I was like 16-year-old, like when
Yeah, what's that business? Give me that one. That's the good one.
That is a lot of fun. I really desperately want. I'm originally from Ukraine, and in 2000, like 1999, 1998, it was very expensive to have the internet at home.
Yeah.
And I just only one way how I think I can brought the internet to my house is actually to buy it and resell it for my neighbors. And I put like small server. Yeah, it was really costly. For example, the average salary of my father was like $200 per month.
Wow.
The internet cost like $300 per month.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just go to my neighbors saying, "Hey guys, can you imagine I can bring the internet? You'll pay me for megabytes spent." Yeah, it was first cable internet, and everyone the coax cables, and they put like apartments together. It was a total of 300 neighbors using my internet.
Whoa!
At a certain point, yeah.
Get out of here! So you were the first internet pirate? No.
Yeah, it
in
was
the
also
Ukraine. And you were
like,
you were 16 years old.
Yeah, can you imagine? Then I go to university next year. We'll go in 17, yes, and it was very busy because I studied computer science and medtech science two positions at the same time. And I back home telling my father, you know what? I have a business to run. I need to drop the university.
Whoa.
My father served army, and he told me, Alex, I will shoot you like if you do it. This is how I actually exited, And father was right. Honestly, like even less than a year, the internet was commoditized, and like this became very cheap. And I was managed to sell it to like small local provider. Yeah, and was made some good money on that. This is why it was my first business.
Wow.
Yeah. Then
what are some of the? I want to hear. So, what are some of the lessons, if you can remember? I know this is a while ago, but what are some of those early lessons you learned back then that maybe even apply now or carry forward to even going into Competera? I don't know, like if there's any like crossover there. I'm just curious because I love those early businesses when you kind of reflect and look back, like, oh, I haven't thought about that in a while.
That all the reflection is always saying if you were, if you probably know what it will take, so you will never start. I think you need to be really crazy a bit to really understand like how complex and how complicated this stuff, and just try to not overthink the thing,
Yeah.
And that is a lot of stories like that is, but
because you were probably in the beginning, you're just thinking about like, how can I split the wire? Like, how do I split the wire?
Honestly,
how do I run the
wire?
How much wire do I need? Like, how much cable do I need? And like, do I have to drill holes? Like, we're talking old school. I'm just trying to, right? Like that was the original.
This actually exactly what you say. And actually, if you remember the LAN cars, they were like is a coax cable. It means that the whole network was connected between each other. And if one connection dropped, the whole network stopped working.
Yeah.
And I paid some like low-paid humans and homelesses sometimes to really help me to restore the cable connection overnight, etc. And by the way, at that time in Ukraine, they not work for money; they work for like vodka. You need to buy them
Wow.
some
Like,
bottle of
hold
stuff
on. So
to.
you were like the cable kingpin back then.
Yeah,
You
that's
want
what it
cable,
was.
you got to come through me.
And honestly, I very early realized that is like it's better to build a software. Actually, I
Wow.
built a specific software to track the time, right, and
Mm.
send the bill. It was a very simple computer, 365 DX. It's like pre-Pentium world. It's like
Yeah.
pre-Windows not exist that time.
Yeah.
Like it was like Windows 3.11, the first one. And the
Mm.
one of my customer, it was also era, in New York, all the people going to like internet cafes.
Yeah.
Remember, it's 2001. The people just, of course, not have internet at home. They're
That was a
going to
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
specific
Yeah. For sure.
computer clubs. Yeah, and as one of my actually customers told me, like, hey, Alex, can you rebuild your software to tracking time inside the club or inside this internet cafe?
Mm.
And that I immediately understand that is a better business, just
Wow.
building software, charge for the software rather than building those cables, etc. It was kind
Yeah.
of pivoted. And then all my university, technically, I support this stuff and create small outsourcing company.
Hmm.
Honestly, I need to find something that can manage study, which is quite intensive, especially on this kind of computer science verticals. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I that time is actually iPhone was released, the first versions, and I see like,
Mhm.
wow, the future of internet is mobile, and it was like I was pissed off to see how cool we need to adopt the websites to be mobile friendly, because internet, if you
Mm.
remember, mobile internet was super slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we started building some outsourcing company. This company was acquired then by another big is a consulting company, but they have a huge outsourcing division.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this Competera technically is my third business. Yeah.
Wow. And so now getting into Competera, what was your take me back to maybe the inception of the idea and when you knew this was going to be a business. So when obviously at some point the opportunity came up and then when you thought you felt convicted enough to put time, energy, resources towards it. When did you know that? Like this was a real opportunity?
Honestly, the same story. Like if I probably know how hard it is, I will never start. But honestly, I still think that they maybe for your audience also, guys,
Mm.
I'm not a big fan to build a technology and then trying to find a problem where this technology can be suitable. I was the
Mm.
guy who see the problem and try to solve it.
Yeah.
And this my work in this big consulting group was around. It was of course pre-ChatGPT era. I got there
Mhm.
like in 2006, and I spent 2014. Then my job was to overseeing a lot of kind of projects, what this big consulting organization doing, and of
Mhm.
course find a way to optimize the time of the people who are running
Yeah.
the stuff and like allocate more time. You see, it's still the same mission, like to help people to free up the more time. And
Mhm.
that I see that what they're trying to do for those retailers, like honestly, was running out of Excels. Like they sell Excel with like informal on top, and some
Yeah.
consultants would actually, honestly, still I don't want to mention any names, but they still not much progress since then.
Yeah.
And
And
as a part
normally
of
it's
my
like if it's not broken and it's been working, don't fix it. Like that's how a lot of
correct,
those
correct,
operate.
and
And
this
it's
is
like,
exactly
well, this
my
is what we're
direct
used to
boss.
doing, right? Yeah.
My direct boss, he's saying me that, hey Alex, this my KPI was to free up the time of analysts and partners.
Mm.
And I see there's a huge potential. It's like a 40 people running the project for one customer. So is it like, guys, to give you the rough numbers, it's like 20,000 hours a year was
Yeah.
billed for the customer, which I see can be very easy optimized. Again, small background. Like my university diploma was electronic nose. That means that
Mm.
I touched machine learning in 2005. I told it touch because if you realize this is 2005, 2006, the first regression model was appear and very simple
Yeah.
models, like one layer model, but I still see wow as a huge potential, and cloud
Mm.
compute start growing. And I came to the boss and say, hey, look, we can make it works much better. Like we should consider multiple factors, because a bit technical things, but the whole idea of pricing instilled then
Hmm.
was technically applying, they called price elasticity. What does mean price elasticity for the audience is technically very direct correlation between historical price change and your
Yeah.
sales volume change.
Hmm.
You don't need two AI guys to build it. This is a part of math statistics. What actually part of econometrics exists for 90/30. Is nothing
Mm.
changed much there.
Mm.
This is what they use. It means that there's very average. I mean, they say, hey, for example, people in New York react on the milk price this much. But
Mm.
this wasn't true. The specific location of New York, for example, that people live, they're not buying milk for some reasons, for their kind of nationality or privileges, etc. This is so
Yeah.
limited. And I thought, like, wow, machine learning can do it much more interesting. They're analyzing the whole context, the location, etc. We need to consider much more factors, and
Mm,
machine learning probably can do it. So same for compute. Compute was improving, and the cloud can do it better than your local Excel, whatever.
for sure.
Yeah, and this I pitched my boss, and this my direct boss was super happy because wow, we can allocate 40 people and charge for license, not the consulting hours. And but guess what? It was another
Mm,
guy, right, who actually selling this and making the money. He came back and say in this group, Alex, you're killing our business. We designed for charge for hours, not for subscription. It was direct quote of this
mm,
guy. Honestly, there are like a few years, not much is going on in this project. I was really pissed off trying to get
yeah.
it done, and it's not working. And one day it was a fun story. I actually was so boring that I started competing, like professionally do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and capoeira. And because honestly, nothing to do in on the work. And I fly to Brazil, Adam, and as it well as happens, you started rethinking your life. You know, I achieved a specific level in this martial arts in Ukraine. When I went to Brazil, I feel like
Hmm.
I'm no one there. I need to really practice more. I have like 17 trainings per week. It wasn't enough because the
Wow.
guys what I was competing with, they do all what they do during the day, just eating, sleeping, and training.
Yeah.
And you know, it was confusing for me. In my consulting career, I'm like the guy who is on top of me is as a partner who like was like quite very smart old dude, and I know that his boss like 20 years older, and like for me
Yeah.
to get to his place, I need to spend another 30 years here. I kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And here I see also like, okay, I already committing so much time, and like I need to do it even step further. I need to spend even more time.
Mm,
And then I really need to make this move, you know. And I decided like, no, sport is not for me. It is cool, but I don't really enjoy that much that I want to dedicate a whole my life there.
mm,
And I pitched back to my company saying, hey guys, look, let's build it together, or
mm.
I'm leaving. Guess what they choose?
Wow. They said, "Good luck, Alex."
Yeah. Honestly, the honest story, just maybe that as some of my ex-colleagues will hear the story, they were our customer, pilot customer. Like I
That's
not started
amazing. I had a feeling they were very supportive on a piece of this because I
yeah,
just
this is
have that
why I
feeling.
absolutely
Normally, if there's
appreciate.
somebody as talented as yourself and like who has this vision and everything else, like you don't also wanna like burn the bridge of like, hey, that might be the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They were like 4 years customer, nothing bad. It was
Wow,
kind of
that's amazing.
complicated agreement. Honestly, I can sell it in a certain way only for this
Of
and that,
course.
and I just renegotiate deal in 3 4 years. Yeah, it was maybe not for recording, but it was tough story how to separate with them. It
Of
was
course.
really
Of
hard.
course. Mhm.
They tried to buy it back. You know, that is again just telling your audience and the
Yeah.
founders that
That's for
it is
founders
like,
out there. Mhm.
yeah, this is kind of is no easy work. Is no easy work here. I don't know, like
Mhm.
all my founders who I know that the building the business is always tough, and you need to be crazy a bit to really start it and see
Mhm.
the light in the end of the tunnel.
So now you're at this point to where you have this moment, you're realizing that you're going on your own. What's next? What's next?
Cool question. You know, I feel still right now that the AI, you see that like right now for me, this is a huge tailwind. You see those kind of awards. We won the AI
Mhm.
summit in London in 2018. Imagine, yeah, this actually what
Man.
happens then when I separated the 4 years, we done just it was a research project. Technically, we're just practicing, we're building the algorithm, nothing works. I actually remind this my ex boss was right, like, Alex, what is AI pricing you talking about? This was 2014, guys, by the way. For reference, is a year when OpenAI was founded,
Hmm.
you know. And this is
2014.
kind
Yep.
of, yeah, this kind of the story. And it takes a while to build the algorithm to the position that it can be. And honestly, it was a really big challenge, guys, on the compute side. The compute wasn't efficient enough. The
Mm.
Google, just again for the reference, Google acquired distributed neural networks, what right now is like Google deep learning. They are adopted the technology in like in
Mhm.
2017, 18 only. I mean, it
Mm.
was very early. I was the founders who like,
Yeah. So
you know,
you
there's
were
sometimes too
early, early.
early, too late. This I was exactly that. Maybe not that too early, but really early. If you ask
Yeah.
my
Still
investors, say,
early to where it
Alex,
wasn't quite as easy as or as fast as it is now.
yeah.
Mhm.
And sorry, like direct answer to the question is just getting started. You know, in
Mm.
2019 we won it, and we have this AI pricing. And guess what? It's like was like a drone delivery. Everyone's speaking about that, but no one really using yet, right?
Mm.
And now this is starting story. We are adopting this in retailers who's quite big there and growing. I looked at to have this kind of, I call this artificial general pricing intelligence, that
Mm-hmm.
we can go after the other customer segments like the gas
Yeah.
stations, all the stuff. They're now really, can you imagine the director of gas station right now, they're driving his car in the blocks, looking on the competitor prices, getting back and setting that almost manually. Or
Wow.
those companies like guys Hurt and Six, they has the algorithm what actually put in place guess by home like years
Mm-hmm.
ago. It was like huge what if formulas, what even that very limited adopt the other factors except that stock quantity, etc. There's a
Mm.
huge ground for optimization. And finally, right now we have those right CIOs in place who are want to leverage AI, applied AI, and
Yeah.
work. You know.
Wow. So now if you fast forward to where we're at today, and actually for a moment, and we don't have to spend too much time on this, but I mean, if we think about what happens in February of 2022, Russia invading Ukraine and like all this, like your business, some of it was out there, right? Like that definitely affected your business. What happened then?
Yeah, this crazy. This, the Competera, the first wave, it was a COVID. Okay, actually,
Mm.
my pitch is very simple. We're saying, can you imagine like McKinsey level price architect can
Yeah.
sit at each of your store for $100 a month, making like everyday price review, making you 10,000. And it's not real, right? Give me 10
That's a
store.
hard thing to argue against, right? On a
Yeah,
sale.
I
Like
say,
you're
give
like,
me,
no, that
and
doesn't
don't
sound
trust me.
good.
Don't trust me. Give me 10 stores and see it 10 weeks. And then
Mm.
COVID hit it, and no one knows when finished. And I
Mm.
running the data. We update the model every single week,
Mm.
waiting when we start the pilot. And this like just postpone, postpone, postpone. And like
Mm.
mid of 2029, finally everything was reopened. Nice year. We finally start the projects. Customers see those implications on their revenues.
And you're like,
And
finally. And then,
just like I see this, you remember the Matrix movie, right? And they run on this car on top of the clouds. They finally see those city in the real
yeah,
sun,
you
and then
see
go
it.
back. This exactly was the Competera story. Like so fun. Yeah, guys. It was again. We still have the most of the
Mm.
team in Ukraine. We continue
Mm.
hiring there as very smart engineers. At that
Mhm.
time, we had a bunch of public companies using us, was affiliated with Russia, or even Russian retailers, what we just voluntarily disconnect over the night.
Yeah.
And it
Mhm.
was a huge hit, and even worse than COVID from the revenue perspective,
Yeah.
because there we were small. Like it doesn't matter when you're small, you look like cucaracha. Yeah, you can survive
Yeah.
third world war, but you're getting like bigger. This is kind of really shaky for you.
Mm.
Yeah, that is honestly speaking, that I always very transparent is one of my principles on Competera. They run the business as a full transparency, and that
Mm.
our customer appreciate that. I mean, we have all the dashboards, all the metrics are open, including like model accuracy, all the stuff.
Mm.
And we just at that point decided like, okay, we just need to push forward stronger than we were before. But some customers just saying, hey, Alex, like we are scary. Actually, all
Mm.
our existing and no one resigned. They all was with us and still with us. Like it's no churn. And they
Yeah.
said, like, if we're not reading the news, our support chat reply was 49 seconds on average. During this war,
Mm.
active status was 1 minute. Like it has increased, but a little. People, this honestly for my employees, they said that the computer is a great way to refocus. That you can
Mm.
just work, because if you will scrolling the news, you will like just will get out of your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from the business perspective, Adam, you're right. The customer saying, Alex, if
Mhm.
the nuke drop in Ukraine tomorrow, what we will do? I say, brother, if the nuke drop in Ukraine tomorrow, the contract with Competera would be smallest problem we will have at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But doesn't
That's
help me to sell, honestly.
I get that. But you've not only survived, you've thrived through this, and you've managed to grow and become profitable, and you're in many countries now. Talk about that a little bit, and also like what kept you kind of strong through those times to be able to get to where you're at now.
Oh, the good question, Adam. That I think that the entrepreneurs, any business, they actually separate on the two groups. The
Mm.
one in any crisis, they're just frozen, right? It's very
Yeah.
similar to the human behavior for some dangers. For example, we did have a hike last week, and we have a huge snake, like it's like huge poison snake on the road, and it's the high cliff. This is on the right, and the wall on the left is like
Mm.
is not never to move. And I see the group always separates. Someone like stuck, don't know what to do. Someone like just getting stronger. And I think I just don't think at that moment. I just need to know that we need to go through this and let's
Mm,
figure out what we can do. We start negotiating, refocusing this and that. I mean, just continue working. I know like we're in a
mm,
great mission, and I love, if you ask me like what the computer is about people, it was always. And I was saying like, if you need, Adam, you told me like we need to run like, I don't know, a nuclear station tomorrow. Probably we'll need some time to figure out how to do it, but we can manage.
yeah,
By the end of the day, all the business is like similar, right?
yeah.
Just with some specifics. Yeah, this is why we start. Actually, we built even because we're born like in very specific area. Right now, the Ukraine became famous. Before,
Mm,
people don't even know where it is like on the map, and we
yeah.
produce a lot of content. What we're doing with us, if you see that, I was training and explaining that the pricing is broken and can
Mm,
be done better, significantly better. You don't need 100 people around you to run those Excels. You can have one guy that can run it, across all the countries, across all the your stores.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and the people getting me through internet. We connected our biggest account. Actually, that it was happens recently that the ChatGPT advised. I asked where you get it.
Wow.
No, man, we asked ChatGPT. He was one of the top of there. Yeah, that before it was
Hey,
just a
that's
Google.
one of the big winners right there. Like, I'm like, how do we get ChatGPT to say where's the best business podcast to listen to, and for Adam Torres to come up? I'm like, that's when you're the winner right there. So you were the
Yeah,
winner, largest contract, man. Congrats. That's amazing.
When is GPT-4 was released, the first thing what we done, we put inside the website those quote, if you like AI, please Falcon this, and this. And we just like bench. Right now they changed the algorithm. Right now they go to search. Right now it's more like a SEO tactics right now works. That moment
Mhm.
it was cool because you really can plug your data in the model. And like of course, in the next like 6 months, 7 months, it becomes visible
Yeah.
and it's no one can delete it. Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. Man, that's great. I love it. So Alex, what's next for you? Talk to me about the future of Competera. Talk to me about the vision. Like, what's next?
Yeah, we right now intensively scale. That you mentioned, like we like maybe one of the hundreds companies who is like EI native and profitable.
Yeah.
That ChatGPT is far away from being profitable, but I'm not Sam. I don't have a good friend of Bill who can give me like $19 billion in Amazon Azure credits, and I can play with $20 subscription and spending like 2,000 an average user, right? I need to make it like works from day one. Yeah,
Mm,
and we said right now just super excited to just grow over the countries, and right now is a lot of demand. For me is more challenging right now to that great people maybe who is listening this, please join,
mhm.
because the the scale problem is also the problem,
Yeah.
that you need to manage. And this is for me right now the biggest challenge: how to scale and not lose the
Mhm.
quality, and
Yeah.
those kind of quality what we produce for our customers.
Mhm. Amazing. Well, Alex, this has been great having you on the show today. If people are listening and they want to follow up, they want to learn more about Competera, if they want to follow your journey and your content that you're putting out there, how do they connect? How do they do that?
Yeah, you just can look Alex Halkin on LinkedIn. I really do post a lot of cool stuff, especially around the pricing and general AI and a fake AI. And of course, Competera.ai. That is very simple. Just submit us your request, and
Mhm.
we will happy to chat and see how we can help.
Fantastic. And for everybody watching, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so that you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So, again, hit that subscribe button. And Alex, man, appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Adam, for the amazing moderation and inviting me here.